Right guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in, and this is proving a little difficult to try and stream both at the same time. Thank you very much to the guys that have joined us on YouTube. Thank you very much to the guys that have tuned in via Twitch. I'm going to try and of course keep up with both, but only having two screens, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but there we go. Des has just joined us. Our Vespid's going to be broken yet. Minto's just joined us. Thank you very much for tuning in, Ian. It's greatly appreciated, of course, guys. But yes, I was on the way home from work and I saw all of these epic changes, and there is a lot. So believe it or not, this is a ginormous pile of books next to me, which I have got to, of course, reference and see what exactly has changed. Big, massive things that I noticed straight away, and the people told me. Bolt of Discipline doesn't work with special issue on Deathwatch, which sucks, but it was OP. Obliterators are 115 points, which is stupid, and Grey Knight's got nerfed again, which they definitely did not need. So let's have a look and see what has changed. Well, basically what they've said here is that everything is now on this update. They've been listening, etc, etc, etc. So several questions and clarifications have been sent to them regarding the rulebook itself. Where necessary, we've updated the erratas and FAQs. Wobbly model syndrome has been asked to be clarified again. I don't get why it needs it, but there we go. Even they say they're a bit surprised by these questions. To be clear, our intent for wobbly model syndrome was that it should serve only as a hint or tip to prevent the models from getting damaged should they be placed in a location where they would be in danger of falling or accidentally damaged. It was not intended to be a rule that enables you to place a model in a position where you could not otherwise physically place it. Makes sense. So it's come to our attention that there's nothing in the rules that technically prevents a model from moving off the edge of the battlefield. As all good wargamers know, the edge of the battlefield is essentially the edge of the universe. So basically no part of a model or its base can be set up or moved over the edge of the battlefield. So no overhanging wings on Storm Ravens. And hang on, it's out. Yes, it came out 75 minutes ago. But yeah, it came out 75 minutes ago. So the edge of the battlefield did get changed. Let's have a quick look at what else is going on. Right, so yeah, that was one of the main changes. Disembarking from destroyed transports. Units cannot declare a charge during the same turn they disembark from a destroyed transport. Mitchell just subscribed to us on Twitch. Thank you very much indeed for the subscription. It is greatly appreciated, my friend. End of the third. Units cannot declare a charge during the turn that they disembark from a destroyed transport. So I think that's to do with the Yanari stuff, which is a whole other story, which we'll get to later on. But yeah, I think that's... I don't understand how that would... Unless, say for example, you keep a unit in, I don't know, let's say a Wave Serpent, and your Spirit Seer blows up next to it and happens to kill the Wave Serpent, then you... Wraith Blades that get out then can't charge. That kind of sucks. I don't like that. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Moving with units that can fly in the charge phase. I am not going to go over all of that because there is a lot of stuff that basically they acknowledge that they made a wrong call. And what they've done is they have changed it. I'm not going to read all of that. But moving. Change the second paragraph to read, if the data sheet for a model says it can fly during the movement phase, it can move across models as if they were not there. And when moving across terrain features, vertical distance is not counted against the total it can move. I.e., moving vertically is free for this model in the movement phase. If the data sheet for the model says it can fly, then during the charge phase, it can move across models other than buildings as if they were not there. So they've clarified that you still get the benefits of fly, but you do count the vertical distance essentially. And they've gone back on a lot of the changes that they advised here, which obviously we'll go over now. And the big one for me was Harlequins, and that really knocked me. And that's why you didn't see me play me Harlequins very much after the change. It took away so much of what made them unique. So they've changed it now to read, during the movement phase, models in this unit can move across models as if they were not there, and when moving across terrain features, vertical distance not counted, blah, 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 blah. During the charge phase, models in this unit can move across models other than buildings as if they were not there. You still don't count the vertical distance in the movement phase, but you do in the charge phase, and that is the intention that it should have been last time, which is brilliant. I love that change massively. It's exactly the same change here for the Canoptic Wraiths, which is great. During the charge phase, models in this unit can move across models other than buildings as if they were not there. Models in this unit can shoot and charge even if they fell back. So what they've done there is, again, you can charge through other models, but you still count the vertical distance. And that is exactly what it should have been previously. So that's great that they've done that. Learn Train Players just joined us. Thank you very much for tuning in, man. Again, they pretty much changed it for the Vanguard veterans for Death Watch, and I'm guessing Intercessors, Inceptor Strike. Yeah, so they changed that to include the Inceptor, Grey Knights. Yeah, again, they've updated that as well. Aircraft. We started to notice that aircraft, typically units with the fly battlefield role and or minimum move characteristics, were being used to block enemy units from moving, and we've received lots of feedback along the line of, whilst the rules are very clear on the matter, it does feel contrary to and disconnected from the narrative. We agree, after all, that the aircraft, employing this tactic whilst right in front of the enemy units are in fact imagined to be soaring high above the battlefield, not skimming over the surface. To that end, we're introducing an addition to the core movement phase. GW not too proud to admit they made a mistake. That's the thing though, they did admit it, and they've gone back on it, and you know what? Great, because that really knocked me the most about the last FAQ. Now it feels like it should, because it's like, oh look, I've got this line of brimstone horrors and I've got a bloodthirster behind it, but your Vanguard veterans can't jump over it, or something else big that flies. I can't think of anything. Tyranid Hive Crone can't fly over them brimstone horrors to hit that bloodthirster. Oh no! Yeah. So, please note that we've chosen to write this rule to first define aircraft units and give them the appropriate keyword. This is done so it affects all units with a minimum move characteristic instead of those with a fly battlefield role. So again, that they're actually they're thinking ahead with this one, rather than just jumping the gun like what they did with the fly. This is so that they apply to all units that are clearly aircraft but that have a different battlefield role, like super heavy aircraft such as Marauder bombers, Thunderhawk gunships, etc. But not units that are clearly not aircraft and not designed to engage and dismember foes in melee on the ground, such as Helldrakes, Hive Crones, etc. Please also note that the purpose of these rules, all units that have the hoverjet ability are still classed as aircraft even whilst they are hovering. The following errata will appear in the Warhammer 40k rulebook and errata document, but is printed here for your convenience. If a unit can fly and it has the minimum move characteristic, that unit gains the aircraft keyword. Whenever a model makes any kind of move, it can be moved within an inch of enemy aircraft, and it can be moved across such models in their bases as if it were not there, but it cannot end the move on top of another model or its base, and it cannot end its move within an inch of enemy units. If, when a unit is selected to move in the movement phase, the only enemy units that are within an inch of it are aircraft, then it can still make a move. Okay, so resetting up models. I don't get that. I don't understand what that's supposed to mean or be. It's very odd. Very odd. I don't understand that. If anyone can clarify what that's supposed to mean, then please help. There are several ability stratagems and psychic powers that let players remove a unit from the battlefield and then set it back up in a different location. But these rules are causing some confusion. The confusion is partially because it is not clear whether or not the effects that apply to the unit before it is removed from the battlefield continue to apply when it is set back up, and also because the wording of this rule is sometimes written as these units set up as if it was their reinforcements, even though they are technically on the battlefield already. The intent of as if they were reinforcements wording was to try and make it clear that the units had counted as moving for the purposes of moving and firing heavy weapons, and that they can't move further this turn, or other than to charge, pile in, or consolidate. After all, these units have potentially been displaced across the entire length of the battlefield already. The wording was also used to try and make it clear that such units would trigger other abilities or stratagems such as all-spec scans, early warning overrides that were used when the unit is set up on the battlefield as reinforcements. Our feeling was that it shouldn't make a difference as to whether a unit teleported on the battlefield or orbiting spacecraft or from over the next hill. You ignore the flyer for movement. So if your models are within an inch of, say, my night sight, just pretend my night sight isn't there. You don't need to fall back. Ah, okay. Right. That's actually really good. I do like, because Tabletop Tactics actually just put out a battle report, and it was Stig's Admech versus Bone using the Dark Angels, and Bone just lined the 3 Dark Talons up, I think the Dark Talons, in front of his entire bike army. He was like, "You can't charge me." So yeah, it's a good idea. I like it. I like that change. Also, is anyone able to actually check on YouTube? Apparently, I've got 1 viewer, which I find odd. I don't know what's going on with that. So anyway, the rest of this rule. To clarify how these ability strategy and psychic powers work, we're adding the following FAQ to the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook, which is printed here for your convenience. What rules apply to units that are removed from the battlefield after deployment by ability stratagems or psychic powers and are then set back up again on the battlefield? If a rule or ability causes a unit to remove from the battlefield and subsequently set back up, the following rules apply to that unit. Any rules that are triggered by or apply to units that are set up on the battlefield as reinforcements are also triggered and apply to that unit when it is set up on the battlefield. No change there. Models in that unit count as having moved a distance equal to their movement characteristic that turn, so suffer the penalty to their hit rolls for moving and firing heavy weapons. If the unit has a minimum move characteristic, it counts as moving its maximum move characteristic. Okay. Models in that unit cannot move again during that turn for any reason other than to make a charge move, to pile in, or consolidate. So no teleporting across the field, or deep striking, or deploying, and then using the Swarm Lord's ability, or using warp time, is it, Ian? Hand flamers are finally pistol D6. Well, there were D6 for the Genestealer cult anyway. They're just now D6 across the entire board. So, if that unit was within an inch of an enemy when it was removed, it does not count as having fallen back when it is set up on the battlefield. That's good. And if the unit advanced during this turn, it still counts as having advanced after it's been set back up. Fine. Any destroyed models in that unit when it is removed are still destroyed when it is set back up on the battlefield. If they were destroyed during this turn, they still count towards any morale. Okay. Any models in that unit that have lost any wounds do not regain wounds when they are removed. Will still have lost them when the unit is set back up. Fine. Most of this does make sense, and I would have just done this anyway. 8. Any rules that unit was being affected by when it is removed, and which would continue to affect it for a specific duration, from abilities, stratagems, psychic powers, continue to affect the unit until such a point that they would normally have no longer applied. For example, if the unit was within range of an aura ability when it was removed, but no longer affected by this ability, was set out with the aura's range, whereas a unit that was affected by a second power that lasted until the end of the turn would still be affected. That is a good. There is no live YouTube stream from your channel. That is very odd. That is very, very odd that the YouTube is not live. Give me 2 minutes. There we go. Because I didn't have a public, because I'm a silly boy. It's been a while since I dual streamed, that's why. It's heresy. Yeah, if you can check that for me, Chaos Swarm, that would be fantastic. Thank you. Note that points 5 to 8 do not apply to any unit set up via the sustained assault rule. Any unit that has been added to your army during the battle and has been set up, such as demonic ritual, things like that. These stratagems represent new units joining the fight rather than existing ones being repositioned. Great. I was worried for a second. Veil of Darkness doesn't lose any My Will Be Done buffs. Yeah, it's good that they've still got that, actually, because I know the ITC actually said that, yeah, you do lose it, which is really good. Right, hang on then. So, organised event guidelines, repeated datasheet clarification. I'm going to skip that first full paragraph. Are the Demon Prince datasheets from Codex Space Marines, Codex Chaos Demons, Codex Death Guard, and Codex Thousand Suns all considered different datasheets for the purposes of organised event guidelines? No, they are not. So no more 9 Demon Princes for you. Read every FAQ and I like many of them. I like quite well what I've seen so far. Are the Heavy Weapon Squad datasheet from Astra Militarum, Imperial Armour. No, they are all considered to be the same. This one is the Cult Lehman Russ datasheet from Codex Genestealer and the Lehman Russ datasheet from Astra Militarum considered to be a different datasheet for the purpose of organised event guidelines? No, they are not. Note that in the cases of Demon Princes and Brood Brother Heavy Weapon Squads, both Chaos and Genestealer cult armies have access to the rules by which they can add new units to their army during battle. As is the case of any unit that is added to your army during the battle, The restrictions listed in the organised event guidelines on how many times the datasheet can be included in your army do not apply to units added to your army during the battle. This means if your collection includes, for example, more than 3 Demon Princes, you can still use them all in your game, but you will have to summon a 4th, etc. Good. Finalised match play points. Match play rules even. So Bolt of Discipline has been finalised. It is clear that the original wording has led to some unintended consequences whilst it has helped bolster the rank and file Bolt of Wheel and Space Marines or Chaos Marines. It has made certain vehicles, notable those with Hurricane Bolt, as much better than anticipated. For this reason, we've decided to amend the rules so as to essentially exclude vehicles, with the exception of Dreadnoughts and Hellbrutes. Whilst technically vehicles, we feel these units wage war in a manner closer to their flesh and blood battle brothers than their chapter or legions battle tanks. This is now the final form of the match play rule. So, any of the rapid fire bolt weapons can make double the number of attacks if any of the following apply. If the model is within half the weapon's maximum range, which is normal. That's interesting. Bolt a little nerfed. The firing model is infantry, and every model in the unit remains stationary in your previous movement phase. Cool. The firing model is a Terminator, Biker, Centurion, Dreadnought, or Hellbrute. Cool. For the purpose of this ability, a rapid fire bolt weapon is any weapon with the rapid fire type whose profile includes the word bolt, e.g. bolt gun, bolt rifle, storm bolt, the combi bolt, the hurricane bolt, the inferno bolt gun. This also applies when firing the bolt gun profile of a combi weapon, including the bolt weapon profiles of relics such as Bloodsong and Lion's Wrath, and when firing relics that replace a rapid fire bolt weapon, so long as the relic is also a rapid fire weapon, e.g. Primarch's Wrath and Fury of Deimos. The Gauntlets of Ultramar and Talon of Horus are also rapid fire bolt weapons, as is the Guardian Spear used by Deathwatch Master. Fine. However, I don't like this one, and I say I don't like this one because I love Deathwatch, but it made them ridiculously strong. So when this unit fires a ranged weapons from the following list, you can choose for it to fire special issue ammunition. If you do so, the Bolt of Discipline ability does not apply when resolving their shots, but you instead choose one kind of ammunition from the table to the right, applying the corresponding modifier. So let's see what they actually said about that. The Bolt of Discipline also affect Deathwatch armies in a way that we had not truly appreciated. The Deathwatch already have an army rule called Special Issue Ammo to make the bolt weapons considerably better. In combination with Bolt of Discipline, the results felt a bit too powerful and overwhelming, to the extent it would be necessary to replay test and reevaluate the points of the entire Deathwatch range. As a result, we decided to exempt Deathwatch from the benefits when they fire Special Issue Ammo. You know what, it makes sense. We've received a lot of questions asking whether Bolt of Discipline abilities should also apply to bolt gun wielding warriors of the Imperium, notably Adeptus Custodes and Adeptus Sororitas. For clarity, the Bolt of Discipline rule was not intended to make all bolt guns better, but rather make the warriors of the Adepts and Heretic Astartes who wielded them better. As a result, we are not adding the Bolt of Discipline to units in other factions. Cool. The Prepared Position Match Play rule was introduced as a beta back in autumn 2018. Based on feedback, we have made one minor adjustment to this rule to exclude aircraft and fortifications from benefiting. Aircraft units are clearly soaring in the sky overhead and not dug in at the start of the battle. Yeah, I don't need to go over that. Tactical Restraint. The Tactical Restraint Match Play rule was introduced in autumn 2018. We have clarified that command points gained via psychic powers are included, and one small change to exclude command points that are spent on stratagems that are used before the battle. So they can't be refunded at all now. So there are several warlord traits that exciting powers and abilities to give you a chance to gain or refund command points. Each player can only gain or have refunded a total of 1 command point per battle round as the results of such rules, regardless of the source. The command points that are spent on stratagems that are not used during the battle round, such as those used before the battle, can never be refunded. I like that. The limit of gaining and refunding 1 per battle round does not apply to the Moment Shackle or the Sevenfold Chant abilities or to the Player of Twilight Warlord trait. In these cases, the ability or warlord trait can refund or gain the player more than 1 command point if the stratagem used costs 2 or more command points to be used. But once any command points have been gained as a result of the rule, neither it nor similar ability can be used to gain any more command points until the next battle round. Also note that it does not apply to the command points that are gained or refunded as specifically instructed on stratagems such as Feeder Tendrils or Vect. Good. I really don't know why YouTube's not working. It's odd. Oh, 5 watching. Way! I'm glad YouTube's finally caught up. I'm not sure what was going on with that, guys, but thank you very much for tuning in to the guys that are watching. It is, of course, greatly appreciated. Let's see what else has changed. Tactical Reserves. The Tactical Reserve match play rule was revised as an updated beta version back in 2018. This is now the final form. Apply to units. Being set up on the battlefield during deployment. So nothing really changed. The revised Autumn 2018 listed a number of related errata that should be used if you were using the beta match play rule version of Tactical Reserves. These were intended to cover off any rules that would have otherwise contradicted the match play rule. As the match play rule itself has now been finalised, all the related errata are now likewise finalised. Note that the stratagem errata below now also include a restriction to ensure a single unit cannot benefit from the stratagem multiple times. And again, I'm not going to go over them. It's basically all of the ones where you could move before the start of the game or redeploy and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go over all of them. Right, interim balance review, Imperial Knight stratagems. It is possible through various warlord traits and rotate Iron Shield stratagems for an Imperial or Renegade Knight to boost its vulnerable save to a 3+. Considering a Knight is already an exceptionally tough and resilient unit to face, we feel that that was too much for opponents to contend with. To that end, we are making a minor adjustment to rotate Iron Shields that limits the stratagem to being a maximum of a 4+, which, you know what, it's kind of needed. It has also come to our attention that it is possible in certain situations for the Death Grip stratagem to automatically destroy the enemy model it hits, as it is impossible for the enemy model to ever be able to break free. We feel this is a shame, and so introducing an errata that will make it so that there's always a narrow hope of breaking free. So they've changed rotate Iron Shields in Imperial Knights and Adeptus Mechanicus, and in Chapter Approved 2018. Death Grip. Change the penultimate sentence of this stratagem to read: if your opponent rolled a 6 and or if the result is equal to or higher than yours, the enemy model breaks free. Otherwise, the enemy model suffers an additional D3 wounds and both players roll off as before. It's worth noting they've done exactly the same with Mental Onslaught as well, because again, if that were, don't get us wrong, Mental Onslaught was a very specific, had to be placed a certain way. You need a lot of things to come off, but you could one-shot a Knight with it. And they basically said that, look, there is now a chance to stop it. Which is actually the next thing there as well. So I won't cover that. Basically, if your opponent rolls a 6. Ah, here we go. I kind of thought this was coming. We published rules for a Field and Imperial Assassin in March's White Dwarf. We've already received lots of feedback with these deadly operas and are thrilled to see so many of them striking figure at the heart of the Imperium. When we wrote the rules for White Dwarf, we envisioned there would be 3 different ways you could include one of these deadly agents in your army. Firstly, as part of the execution force kill team. Secondly, as part of the auxiliary support detachment. Thirdly, via the operative requisition sanction stratagem. Of all these options, the third provides players with the most flexibility, enabling them to bring the right assassin for the right job. We feel that such flexibility should come at a premium command point cost, but currently it costs the same number of command points a match player as option 2, but is better in all regards in that it does not count towards the total number of detachments in your army, thereby getting around the detachment limits of your game. Conversely, in narrative play games, the stratagem costs 3 command points. This was intended to try and account for the fact that in narrative play you do not require reinforcement points to use this stratagem, but 3 command points is in hindsight too steep an investment, especially for a style of playing that is supposed to be less restrictive on the army. To these ends, to make a choice between option 2 and 3, we are increasing the command point to 2 CP. We are also taking the opportunity to make sure the stratagem can only be used if your army does not already contain an Officio Assassinorum operative option, one of the above. So basically, if you've got a detachment of assassins, you can't then use this stratagem. And the fact that it's 2 CP, yeah, you know, it makes sense because 1 CP was an absolute bargain. And it's refund, not just increase past original. What was that for? Also can't use it if you have fallen. Oh yeah, that's the last line there. I didn't quite get down to that. Fair enough. So the mob up stratagem has been changed. The first and second sentences to use the stratagem at the end of your movement phase before setting up any reinforcements from your army on the battlefield. Select 2 clan boys units in your army that are within 2 inches of each other. So let's have a look. So on the battlefield is to prevent. Right. Basically, it was a little bit of a workaround to stop them joining up and being within 9. Right. Ha! I knew that this was coming as well based on the Ynnari rules, which I've got behind me, which I'm not going to cover. James is going to hopefully cover them for us in a video that he's hopefully recording tonight. But yeah, the guys on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm not sure if the chat is working. It's been a while since I've live streamed on YouTube, and it doesn't appear to be coming up. But give us a follow on Twitch, and that's where we mainly live stream now. Of course, big things like this we will cover on both YouTube and Twitch. So, Craftworld Psychic Powers, basically, they didn't like the crossover between Drukhari, Harlequins, and so forth. Therefore, it only benefits Asuryani units now. So, the reveal, because I'm pretty sure it had Eldari keyword instead, so you could actually cast it on some allies. Change the reveal effect to read. Choose an enemy unit within 18. It does not receive the benefit of cover against attacks made by Asuryani units, not Eldari units. The same with Protect or Jinx. You can only increase or decrease the target. Damn, that changes. There's a battle report coming out on Friday. And I use Protect Jinx on a Leviathan and then have me Dark Eldar fire at it. And so yeah, that's going to change. And then Doom. Oh, no, what? Doom as well? Oh, no. Between special issue ammunition going and then Jinx and Doom getting changed, that's totally screwed up both my tournament lists for this weekend. Oh, man. Back to the drawing board. Wow! Merlin7714's just made a donation of 30 quid. Or is that top? No, that's top donation. Ha! That's Scott's donation a few weeks ago. But yeah, Sean, that's just screwed up both of my tournament lists, which means I now need to build a list, paint it tonight, and submit the list on Wednesday, which I don't like. Wow. Underdog painting. Howdy. Alright, Baz, I hope you're well, man. Glad the chat's working at least. Right, let's have a quick look at this. Imperial Knights. How much was the Plasma Decimator and the Volcano Lance? Oh, so basically they're now 40 and 60 instead of 3. So the Dominus is now what? 700 points? The Castellan's now what? 700 points? That's nice. I'll accept that. Just do me and take a super heavy and don't give a hoot. I did that last time, Sean. I don't want to do that again. I took the Supremacy armor last time. Big lols to Ian. Yes, Ian, big lols considering you've just built yours. I like almost all them changes. I am actually a lot happier off the back of this than I am with the other one. However, I'm now going to go back to the drawing board for my list because I was running Deathwatch with Stormbolters and then paying a CP to take an Assassin. And I was running Eldrad and 2 Warlocks with a 3 Dark Eldar Ravagers and 9 Talos. So, what do I do now? What do I do now indeed? Run Cult. Too complicated, mate. It's not fast-paced enough for the tournament and I haven't got all the characters and stuff painted yet. I don't know what I'm going to run now. I really have no idea. But Sarge's dual Castellan list is gone. I'm disappointed about the change to fly, but that's it. Are you insane, Ian? Des says take Harlequins. Good shout, Des. Good shout. I might do, actually. But on the subject of Harlequins, right, we're going to start looking at the FAQs. And I don't like what they did to the Solitaire. If the Solitaire blitzes, he can't advance. Why? He moves 12 inches. Oh, look, I'm going to blitz on turn 3. I roll 3 dice and the average is 10. Why? I'm not taking Necrons. No. I'm not taking Necrons. So let's see what changed in Vigilus first. Add Demonic Ritual to the Skull Altar. Fine. I assumed it would have had that. Now, this is a change that happened to all of the Chaos books as well. If your army is Battleforged, all character, infantry, bikers, Hellbrutes, and Black Legion detachments gain the Black Crusaders Legion. The fact that it now has character, right, means that your Juggerlords now get their benefit. You might actually see mine now. Oh, I might take World Eaters. I don't have enough Conberserkers though. Oh well. The Purge units must have at least one Nurgle keyword if they're able to do so. If a unit has a Khorne Slanesh keyword, it cannot be from the Purge. I like that. That kind of makes sense. The Scourged has Zinj, the Flawless Horse has Slanesh, and the Brazen Beast have Khorne. Nice little changes. I think obviously what they were doing is people were just going, oh look, I'm a Purge unit and I've got the Mark Slanesh and I'm going to shoot twice with Endless Cacophony. It's fine. Cool. I like that. Fallen Angels, change the 3rd sentence. If you do so, then replace all the Mark of Chaos, Heretic, Astartes, and Legion abilities with keyword Fallen. Also, Lord of... Oh, shit, yeah! Narrative, it's right with specific Mark of Legion. Yeah, I totally agree, Chaos Swan. But yeah, the Lord Discordant gets it. And actually, that kind of makes sense now, right? Because I bet you that article that said the Lord Discordant benefited from the Alpha Legion trait was written before this FAQ was delayed. That's what I think. That's massive. That's really, really good. And do you know what? Whilst it's not a massive buff to Chaos, it does help. Every last little thing helps. Renegade traits, if you choose, so long as every unit in that detachment is the same Renegade chapter, that's fine. Ian, I'm going to get a t-shirt printed with hashtag Minto makes sense on it. Buffs every index Chaos character. It does. It really does, which means that obviously they're all, well, the Nurgle Lord on Palanquin, which Ian now has to go and make. That's good. It's good. I might actually run a Juggerlord now. And I don't know why I'm getting adverts. I need to run a, what do you call it? Antivirus. But yeah, I like some of them changes, man. Daz has just joined us over on YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let's go back to the 140,000 ones. The rulebook change. I'm only going to scan the pink stuff, guys, because obviously that's the only thing that's changed. Movement we've already covered. We covered the embark and disembark. Can a model take the same wargear option more than once? For example, can a Space Marine Terminator replace his Stormbolter with a Cyclone missile launcher and another Stormbolter, and then replace its new Stormbolter with a Heavy Flamer? No. Each bullet point wargear option on that unit's data sheet can only be used once. That means no double chain swords. No double chain swords on your chain lords. Let's see what else has changed. Oh. Does the pluralization or not of a keyword make any difference to which unit the rule applied to? E.g. Terminator versus Terminators? No. In match play games or any other game that is using points, what is the point value of a unit, champion or sergeant or boss knob, etc.? Unless noted otherwise, the point value entry for that unit or champion has the same point cost as other models. I don't understand why that was even a question. I mean, what difference does it make? Can you clarify what the difference is between wholly within or within? If a rule says it affects models that are wholly within, then it only applies if every part of the model's base or hull is within. If a rule says it affects models that are within, however, then it applies so long as any part of the model's base or hull is within. If the rule states it affects wholly within, I've just read that. For example, units gain the benefit of cover if every model in the unit is either on or within terrain, so long as all the models in that unit are either on or partially in the terrain. Cool. If a unit cannot make any sort of move, including piling, consolidation moves, can it make and end that move in coherency? Can it make that move? No. If any of... oh no, that's black, I don't need to cover that. If a model whose attacks always hit on a specific roll, such as the Vindicator Assassin or Dark Reaper's range attacks, targets a unit that can only be hit on a specific roll, such as a unit that affects the Pathfinder's stratagem, which roll takes precedent? The attacking model's ability takes precedence. That's good, because I know they did that for the Dark Reapers versus the Calexis, was it? Sorcerer and Palanquin or Chaos Lord and Palanquin have Sorcerer and Palanquin converted. Nice, Ian's making one. Class. If a unit is out of coherency, must that unit move to re-establish unit coherency, or can the unit remain stationary? The unit can choose to remain stationary. If a stratagem instructs you to select a unit from your army at the start of the turn, can I choose one that is not yet on the battlefield? No, stop trying to get round stuff. That's the one about units being removed from the battlefield. Are you able to advance or fall back on a different phase when moving, as if it were the moving phase? Unless stated, yes. Note that if you do advance and the unit has already advanced this turn, you should roll the dice again to see how... yeah, that makes sense. When using a stratagem to fight again in the fight phase, or fight as if it were the fight phase, are you able to ignore the rules for who is eligible to fight in the fight phase? Blah, 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 blah. No, so you can still only fight who you charged. Let's have a look. So the core one's pretty self-explanatory. If rule states that a unit fails a morale test in a certain role, but that unit is affected by another rule that says it has automatically passes one. Which one? Rules that say a unit automatically passes morale test always take precedence over rules that say morale test is failed. Okay. Rules that say no models flee from a unit always take precedence over rules that say a number of additional models. Okay, cool. How do you resolve consecutive stratagems that cancel each other's out? What happens if a player uses Agents of Vect in order to try and stop another player using a plan at generations in the making? The stratagem used last must be resolved completely first. Haha. For example, let's say a Drukhari player declares the use of lightning fast reflexes. The Gene Stealer Club player uses a plan generations in the making. On the lightning fast reflexes, the Drukhari player then declares Agents of Vect. On a plan generations in the making, the Drukhari player resolve the Agents of Vect first, rolling 1d6 to see if their stratagem successfully stops a plan of generations in the making. If it does so, then after refunding any CPs directed or not, a plan of generations in the making is not considered to have been used, and lightning fast reactions is used as normal. If Agents of Vect fails to stop a plan of generations in the making, the Gene Stealer Club player can now resolve their stratagem, rolling 1d6 to see if they can stop the lightning fast reflexes. Good. I'm glad that they've cleared that up. Let's have a look. Can a unit that is within an inch of an enemy and entirely within 3 inches of a friendly transport embark into that transport without having to move, for example, because they cannot fly? No. Some abilities cause extra hits or wounds on a specific roll, e.g. each hit roll of a 6 scores 2 hits instead of 1, or each hit roll of a 6 scores 1 additional hit on a target. Are these abilities cumulative? It depends on the exact word and rules that score 2 or more hits instead of 1 are not cumulative. However, rules that score 1 or more additional hits are cumulative, and they'll give some specific examples. Fine. Gareth Smith, Lord Discordant now getting the Legion's trait is nice. Absolutely. No more Drukhari benefiting from Craftworld Psychic Powers, sad times. Totally agree, Dazza. I've literally just filmed a battle report about it. It was due to go out on Friday, but I'm probably going to put it out now so people can win Jarrett straight away. And it massively changes my tournament list for this weekend. So sad face indeed, because I had Eldrad and 2 Warlocks with 9 Talos and 3 Ravages. So I can't take that anymore. If the Search and Destroy or Vanguard strike deployment map is determined, must the deployment zones be located in the exact corner specified on the deployment map? Yes! So it's bottom left, or bottom right rather, and top left, whichever way you're looking at it, so you can't do it the opposite way around. Obviously, if it's narrative games, no one cares, but for tournament play, yes, it matters. If a unit has an ability that allows it to attempt to deny the witch as if it were a Psyker, is it treated as a Psyker for any other rules purposes? No. And Gareth, yeah, the Lord Discordant, I think they were kind of hinting at that in the previous article that they put up, giving advice about the Lord Discordant, because I think obviously the FAQ was supposed to come out before that, so I think they actually just missed that, and then obviously they went back on it, removed it, and now they've gone and added it. and you only get Slay the Warlord if the Warlord is destroyed at the end of the battle. Yeah, Josh did that to me at the tournament as well, where I killed his Warlord on turn 7, and it was the only model left, and I went second, and he used that 1 CP stratagem to get back up on a 4+, and was like, I'm back up, you don't get Slay the Warlord, you don't table me. And I was like, oh, great. And literally sad face like that. I was like, wow. No worries, Sean. See you later, man. So that's it for the main rulebook FAQ. What have we got next? Shadow Spear. Let's see if they changed anything in that. That's just a whole update, I think. Just clarification on the word Space Marine units. Change the first paragraph to read, in the rules described in the section we often refer to Space Marine units. There's a shorthand for a starter's unit and can be from one of the following factions: Ultramarine, Imperial Fist, Salamander, White Scar, Raven Guard, Iron Hand, Crimson Fist, Black Templar, Dark Angel, Blood Angel, and Space Wolves, and any Adeptus Astartes units that have the Dark Angel, Blood Angels, or Space Wolves keywords. Yeah, it's just basically clarifying the other chapters, basically. Can a bolt sniper rifle that is firing mortis rounds target a character that is not the closest enemy unit and not visible to the firing model? Yes! Ha! Is the Princeps of Deceit Warlord trait to redeploy units from your army, and those units have an ability that allows you to set in a different manner? No. Demon Can. Nothing really changed in any of that I can see. I mean, Chaos Swarm will know the best because he's our resident Chaos encyclopedia. Let's see what the updated in chapter approved. Rotate Ion Shields now only goes up to a maximum of a 4+. Updated points values 37, 33, 37. Rack of Rockets 24. So nope, one small change there which we're not too fussed about. Heresy plus I have every codex. So I've got most codexes, I just don't have time to fine tooth comb all of them. I wish I did, but I don't. So here we go. Harlequins. So we've already covered the movement thing, I'm not going to go into that. Solitaire, Blitz. A model cannot advance when it uses this ability. That sucks. So stratagems, the Labyrinth Laughs. Units set up with this stratagem can be set up during the first battle round, even if you are using the tactical reserves match player rule. So where is the Harlequin book? Harlequins. So Labyrinth Laughs. The Labyrinth Laughs even. Page was it? 72. Use this stratagem when a webway gate from your army is destroyed. Alright, so it's like emergency invasion beam basically. If a solitaire is within an inch of an enemy, can it use its blitz ability? No. If a unit with a Rising Crescendo ability fell back during the movement phase and is then subsequently targeted by a Twilight Pathways psychic power later in the turn, can it advance during the resolution of that psychic power? Yes, that's good. If an attack made with a Death Jester Shrieker cannon using a Shrieker profile causes one or more wounds to be taken by an enemy unit other than the initial target as a result of an ability that allowed them to take a wound instead of an initial target, for example, Unquestionable Loyalty or Sacred Protocols, which unit is affected by the weapon's ability? In this instance, the unit that intercepted the hit would be the subject of the weapon's ability. This also includes any abilities on the Death Jester itself, such as Death is Not Enough. Cool. Can Hero's Path be used in your opponent's movement phase? Yes! Wow! So not a lot changed there. Let's have a look at the guard one next, I think. Can I open this in a new tab? There we go. What changed? Ratlings, find the best shot. When you set up this unit during deployment, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 18 inches away from the enemy deployment zone and any enemy models. Rain and Ross from Blackstone Fortress. When you set up this unit during deployment, it can be set up anywhere. Fair enough, it's just the rattling rule. Volley fire. Each time you roll a hit roll of a 6+ for an attack made with a model with this rule, immediately make one additional hit roll against the same target using the same weapon profile. The additional hits themselves cannot generate more hits. Change the first sentence. So the Dagger of Tushak. During the deployment, you can set up the bearer and one infantry unit from your army behind enemy lines instead. The Pietrov Mark 45 changed its type to Pistol 2. Can I issue move order on a unit which has fallen back? Nope. Very basic change. Very basic changes. Agreed. I also like the fact that if you want to be the Purge, you can only take the Mark of Nurgle. Makes sense from a fluff perspective. Yep. I can't see the updated BRB update or the chapter proof sorted by recently updated. Is there a direct link someplace? It's just warhammercommunity.com/FAQs. That's where I've got them all from here. See the web address there at the top. Before we go any further, guys, I know there's quite a lot of you watching. We normally do hobby streams on a Monday on Twitch, so make sure you are following us on Twitch to stay up to date with what we're working on during that. A little bit later on, I didn't expect to be doing this live stream, but a little bit later on during tonight's hobby stream, there will be a little prize in the form of Canoness Viridian, which I'll be giving away, and you can only win that if you're watching on Twitch later on. Also, if you are able to do so, guys, please support us via Patreon. It helps the channel keep growing, it helps us get more armies, and the fantastic new backdrops, which you probably saw in the Slanesh and Fireslayer's Battletome reviews. Once Upon a Death has just donated 99 cents. Thank you very much, man. Combined squad strat needs clarifying. What is the state of combined squads if the unit falls back from combat and combines? Can I shoot with the new squad? Very interesting thought, actually. I'm not too sure about that one. Not too sure about that. Once Upon a Death, thank you very much for the super chat donation. Unfortunately, like I said, I normally stream on Twitch, so OBS is only set up for Twitch donations. But like I said, thank you very much indeed, man. But yeah, so go and give us a follow on Twitch. And what we do during the hobby streams is I normally let people pick what they want to be painted in exchange for a small donation towards the channel as well. Let's have a look. Modification. I'm on that page but can't see them. It has all updated codices. I'll keep mashing refresh, I guess. I just followed the link from the Facebook page. Even has it's been a while since I sat in on one of your Twitch sessions. Yeah, I'm on YouTube as well at the same time, Rick, because we are going over the FAQs and erratas that have just changed, and the game it's going to be different. And I've just lost both my tournament lists for this weekend. So I hope Justin says no, but I did go and pick something up off him, and I was like, dude, the FAQs dropped like 5 minutes ago. Are you using it this weekend? He's like, I don't know, probably, I don't know. So I'll have to message him and find out. But yeah, let's have a look at the Tau one. See what changed for the Tau. Master of War. On a turn in which you declare Kauyon at the start of your movement phase, you can select any friendly Sept units that are within 6 inches of the commander. Until the end of the turn, the selected units cannot move for any reason, but you can reroll. That's good, right? Because I used Kauyon before, and Liam pointed this out to me, actually. I went to then go move my shield drones, and he went, you can't move them. I was like, why not? I'm not rerolling hit rolls, I don't care. And he's like, I know, but you can't move them. So the fact that it says you can now select which ones, they didn't clarify for the greater good when selecting units to fire. Do I select all the units firing Overwatch at once, or do I go unit by unit? With that one, I would actually say that you declare who is overwatching when the enemy unit is targeted. You can't go, right, well, the squad that you're targeting is overwatching, and I'll fire with the next one. And then you've done that, and you go, actually, I need a bit more. I'm going to fire with that broadside. Still didn't clear. Okay, now the Riptide's on fire. You can't do that. I like to be polite to my opponent and declare all firing for the greater good before resolving any shots. Yeah, that's the way I've always done it, and that's the way Liam does it. Liam plays only or predominantly Tau, and as much as I do play Tau, Liam knows his book very well, and that's the way Liam does it. And that's the way I've seen it done mostly. Let's have a look. Oh, a few other changes. So the burst move, you can't move within an inch. I thought that would have been common sense. Coordinated fire arcs. When a unit with this tenet uses there for the greater good ability, or when they fire Overwatch whilst they are within 6 inches of another friendly Tau Sept unit, a 5 or 6 is required for a successful hit roll, irrespective of the firing model's ballistic skill modifiers. Thank you. Oh, Jesus. Right, question about Steam Injectors. You can't buy them like what they used to be. It's a stratagem, so tough. It means that, so clarification on the Fireblade's volley fire, it means the player can make one more hit roll for each model. Note that for a model with a pulse rifle, this means it would make 2 hit rolls unless the target is within half range, in which case it would make 3 hit. 2 hit rolls. What? Gun drone's got a bit more shooty. Cadre Fireblade. Did Cadre Fireblades just get better? I thought it was just half range. That's where it says. So why does that say it can take 2 shots? So the exact word in volley fire. Models in Sept units within 6 inches of any friendly Sept Cadre Fireblades may fire an extra shot with pulse pistols, pulse carbines, and pulse rifles when shooting at the target within half the weapon's range. Note that for a model with a pulse rifle, this means it would make 2 hit rolls unless the target is within half range. Did pulse rifles just get even more broken? Yeah, I think they've botched the wording of that. The way that reads to me is that you get 2 shots at full range, which is brutal. How many shots does a model armed with multiple pulse weapons fire when affected by cadre fire blades? These models fire one additional shot for each weapon. For example, a drone armed with 2 pulse carbines, an Assault 2 weapon, would fire 3 shots. Wow. Fair enough. That seems a little bit crazy. Let's see what YouTube lads have said. No mention from the YouTube guys, but that's interesting. I'm going to have a look at the TOW groups later. So when a TOW vehicle is destroyed, drones immediately attach using the transport rules. If several takes 4 piranhas from a single unit are destroyed, do any disembarking drones form a unit? Can these disembarking drones be set up within 3 inches of any piranha model? No, each set of drones is treated as a separate unit. Fine. And that's it for TOW. Not too many changes there. Add mech. Let's see what's changed for the add mech. So yeah, changes to the Stages 8 stratagem, which we know about based on the new movement rules, which we covered earlier, and of course a change to the Imperial Knight stratagem. How does Rage of the Machine stratagem work with a vehicle unit that consists of more than one model? One vehicle model from that unit will gain the benefit of the stratagem. If a quest or mechanicus unit from your army is selected as a target of Knight of the Cog stratagem, must every unit in the quest or mechanicus unit's detachment also have that? No. At what point does the invulnerable save of a Fulgurite Electro Priest get increased as a result of Siphoned Vigor ability? When the last model on the enemy unit is slain and removed from the battlefield. For you, George, what time do hobby streams usually start UK time? Normally about 7 to 8 PM, which is in 20 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes. But obviously I'm doing this, so I'm going to have a break before we come back on the hobby streams. Angel Wings just joined us. Thank you very much for tuning in. Guys, make sure you do follow us on Twitch. There will be a hobby stream later on, and we will be giving away Cannes Viridian to one lucky viewer, and you need to be watching on Twitch. Can a Grime model that has refusal to yield ability also make use of rules that allow them to ignore the lost wounds, such as fanatical devotion? No. Fine. Hardly any changes there. Deathwatch, most of I had a quick look at this one earlier. Most of the changes here are surrounding the use of bolted discipline and flyers. So special issue ammo can't use the bolted discipline rules, and again movement phase for the veterans and stuff, which I'm not going to cover. Wow. Let's have a look. Hand flamers are changed to D6. That's game wide, by the way. For each CP spent in the stratagem, you can set up either one Deathwatch unit that contains watch captain replaces chainsaw and what the Stormbolt and chainsaw, and then replace the new chainsaw. 2 separate bullet points. You cannot choose the same bullet point twice. Yeah, makes sense. If a unit with a mixture of different model types, if not every model has a certain keyword, such as Phobos or Mark 10 Gravis, is that unit considered to be a unit with that keyword? No, a Deathwatch unit is only considered to have that keyword if every model in the unit has a keyword. If an ability asks you to pick a model rather than the unit with this specific keyword, yeah, that gets confusing. When an Eldari unit that can fly is set up on the battlefield as reinforcements, can you use the Deathwatch specific stratagem to target them? Yes. Can I use Tome of Ectoclids to effectively give the mission tactics ability to a Deathwatch unit that would not otherwise have it, either because that unit is not part of a Deathwatch detachment or because it is not an infantry. Oh! If I use Hellfire Shells or Flak Missile Stratagem and I hit, do I continue to roll to wound and do damage? Normally, no. Which part of a drop pod should I measure distances from and to, especially if the model has been assembled so its doors can be opened or closed? Measure all distances to and from any part of the model. What? If this model has been assembled in such a way that you can lower and raise the doors, then when this model is first set up on the battlefield, what? That's massive! Wow. Choosing to set this model up in the raised doors position simply represents the doors closing the instant after passengers have disembarked. Wow. That's a change. I don't think it's going to make drop pods viable, but nevertheless it is a change. And now, get your violins out, because Grey Knights have been nerfed even further. So again, most of the stuff that's changed is in relation to weapons, being able to take dual data slates and flying abilities and stuff. This is the one that I'm not liking. Heed the prognosticars. Use a stratagem at the start of your turn. Select one Grey Knight's character until the start of your next turn. The invulnerable save of the character is improved by 1 to a maximum of a 3+. So Lawrence is not going to be very happy. I don't understand why they've done this, because who on earth wants to play Grey Knights now? No one. No one. Let's have a look. At least I can have my aircraft crashing out of the sky following commander's orders. Gundrone's got a bit more shooty. Stygies nerf is still poo. Yeah, we knew that was going to stay though. 7th edition troll drop pod is back. Yeah, kind of. It's frustrating that they've done that, but it is what it is. What's changed for Space Marines? Intercessor change, which we knew was happening. Crusader's helm changed ever so slightly. Increases range to a maximum of 12. Strike from the Shadows was the Raven Guard one, which again we knew about. They want invulnerable saves to be max 3+. Archon is exception because they lose their 2+ when they fail a 1+ save. Yes, I know, Chaos Swab, and you will see an Archon with a Shadow Field in the battle report, which I'm going to put out straight after this after this video, because it was obviously pre-FAQ, so I'm just going to put it out, and people go, man, FAQ changes that, and you know what, whatever, get on with it. If you're not intelligent enough to work out that it takes time to edit battle reports, then that's your problem. But yes, yeah, Archons, and you can't re-roll the 1 either. You can at least re-roll the 3+. Can I use the signal to increase the ballistic skill of the model when it shoots with ranged weapons before being removed as a casualty? No. Can the kill shot stratagem be used to affect Demos pattern relic predators? No. And I hate that, right? Because Blood Angel Baal predators don't get it. Send in a chain load on the Archons. Yeah, but you can't take 2 chain swords now. Drop pod question. How do the flak missile and hellfire stratagems interact with the Amoran cherub? Are you able to reload the weapon and fire again with the benefits of the stratagem? No. You can, however, use the stratagem a second time to affect the second shot, subject to usual restrictions, which means not in match play. Could someone post a direct link to the BRB update? It's literally there. Warhammer-community.com/FAQs/ and they're all there. There you go, big rulebook. Still being a pain. I don't know why. The only thing I can suggest is clearing your cookies and stuff. So yeah, where were we down to? Space Marines, Blood Angels. I had a quick look in this one. I don't think there was a lot of change. The Lucifer pattern engines changed. It's still a crap stratagem. You're never going to use it because Razorbacks are more point efficient than Battle Predators. So you don't see Battle Predators. Simple as that. Hand Flamers are D6, and a small change to the banners. Add one to the leadership for Blood Angels units whilst they're within 6. Roll a D6 each time Blood Angels infantry model is destroyed within 6, non 4+. It's just a normal banner. Can I use the signal to increase the ballistic skill characteristics? So again, it's most of it is the same as the Space Marine one there. Can the kill shot stratagem be used to affect Battle Predators? No, that is stupid. Stupid. A Moram Cherub question again. Drop pod question. So nothing that specifically affects Blood Angels beyond the Lucifer pattern engine. Guys, I'm not going to cover the Imperial armor because I'm not as familiar with them and it would take all day. And I'm going to skip Space Wolves and Dark Angels. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to have a quick look at the Space Wolves to see if they fix the 10-point Storm Shields. Combat Shield, 5 points. Again, all the same questions. Oh, and look, there's the other page of the Codex that they forgot to print. Sorry, Sean. Dark Angels. I did it again, didn't I? I forgot to press open in the new tab. Here we go. Again, most of the same stuff. Speed of the Raven. Use this stratagem one of your Raven Wing units advances. That unit can still shoot and charge this turn as if it had not advanced. That's it. That's it for Dark Angels. Necrons. What has changed for Necrons? So Emergency Invasion Beam you can use in the first turn. And then they changed the ability to move and charge. The whole movement thing basically has changed. Can Quantum Deflection Stratagem allow a unit with the Quantum Shield and ability to ignore attacks with a damage characteristic of 1? Yes, it's where you subtract 1 from the dice roll, I think it was. When Death Marks use the Ethereal Inception ability to attack an enemy unit that's just been set up, does every Death Mark in that unit have to target that model or at least one? All of them. So they're considered to be reinforcements for the purposes of tactical objectives for using invasion beams. They do not count as being set up on the battlefield. Not really any changes there. Chaos Marines. Now this is the whole, this is a new document, so they scrapped the old one, so everything in this is new. And I can confirm Obliterators are 115 points. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? There. That's all I've got to say to that. Can't betray. You can't re-roll any hit rolls over 1. Most of this is just clarification. I don't really need to go over most of this, guys. It is pretty self-explanatory. But there, if your army is Battleforged, all character, infantry, biker, and Hellbrute models get the Legion trait, which is fantastic that they've updated that. Tyranids, Sporcis Bombardment. When you set this unit up during deployment, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from the enemy deployment zone and enemy models. Which means if you go second, of course, you can't put them within range of scouts. The horror, you have to be able to see the character. Oh, Thomas has just come in with 20 quid. Oh, Thomas, you're supposed to wait for the donation for this one, man. I will count that, those things. I know you will be back later on. But guys, make sure you tune in to Twitch after I've had a break after the FAQs. And you could be in with a chance to win Canoness Viridian. Yeah, Rick, I need to change Nightbot. I'm going to have to YouTube search how to change Nightbot so that it allows you to post links. If this unit is affected by the opportunistic advanced stratagem as having advanced for the purpose of shooting or charging late in that turn, yes. So very, very little changes to Tyranids. I just noticed as well they haven't updated the Fire Slayer's battle tome yet. Where were we down to? Custodes. Oh god, I've still got a long way to go actually. Wow. I didn't realise there was so many. We'll try and smash through these guys, because I know people will be itching to see what their army does. And I'm itching for something to eat. So slight change on the word Indomitable Guardians. Can a Custodian's biker from your army that is within an inch enemy unit declare a charge as a result of the stooping dive stratagem? No. That's it. Imperial Knight Errata. Death Grip got changed, which we did mention earlier. So you can stop it if you roll a 6 and your opponent does not. There we go, Imperial Knights. Rotate Iron Shields a maximum 4+, Death Grip change. And the change of the terrain, basically you get 3 wounds back instead. That's alright. The Death Grip stratagem is used after an Imperial Knight model has fought, but at what specific point in the fight sequence does this happen? After the consolidation phase. And that's it. Cool. Vigilus Defiant. Let's see what they have to say. Clarification on the Imperial Fist Siegebreaker cohort. The Adeptus Mechanicus Warlord trait is treated as an ability that repairs all friendly Adeptus Mechanicus model for the purposes of the Auto Carduceus of Ark and Land Relic. Yes, basically you can't double heal. High Marshal Helbrecht must always have the Oathkeeper Warlord trait detailed, and that you can't take the Specialist Detachment one. Killican's able to use the Dreadwar custom ammo mech connection stratagem despite having the Gretchen keyword. Yes. Can Badmoon Big Mech in a Dreadwar detachment use both showing off stratagem and custom ammo stratagem to fire 3 times in a single shooting phase? No, both stratagems only allow the unit to fire 2 times that phase. No worries, Thomas. Thank you very much for tuning in, man. Thousand Suns. We've only got about 6 left after this. Yeah, sometimes they are a nightmare to find, Rick. I don't know why. So, Kabbalistic Focus. Use this stratagem before attempting to manifest a psychic power with a Thousand Sun Psyker that is within 6 inches of at least 2 other friendly Thousand Sun Psyker units. Add 2 to the Psychic test, so it's units. Boon of Zinch. Spawndom. Change the third sentence. If you do so, set a Chaos Spawn within 6 inches of the character and more than 1 inch from enemy models before removing them as a casualty. The Flesh Change. Change the fourth sentence to read, if you do so, the Chaos Spawn within 6 of a character and more than 1 inch from enemy models. Dark Hereticus Discipline. If a character is slain by this power, you can add 1 Chaos Spawn. Again, clarifying the distance. Wow, that's a few changes. If a character is slain by the power, again, just mentioning the distance for the spawn. Reroll a single dice roll that you have rolled. That's alright. Discipline of Zinch. If the result is greater than the character's leadership until the end of the following fight phase, treat the character as if it were a friendly model from your army in the shooting phase, charge phase, fight phases. I wondered this one. How should perils of the warp be resolved against units led by an aspiring sorcerer or scarab occult sorcerer? Any mortal wounds suffered are applied to the sorcerer's units and can be applied to another model if they wish. A model in that unit has already suffered any wounds, it must still be applied to them. If the aspiring sorcerer or scarab occult sorcerer has been slain as a unit, is this unit still treated as being a psyker? Yes. Whilst these units would not be able to manifest and deny powers, any abilities, objectives, and such, they still count as a psyker. Can the kill shot stratagem be used to affect Hellforged predators? No! It's only for the Chaos Predator data sheet. It is stupid! It's absolutely ridiculous. So, Eldar, we already know that they changed the psychic powers to prevent overlaps, which also prevents overlaps with the Ynnari stuff, which, like I said, hopefully James will be covering that for us later. Illic Knight Spear and Rangers, change that. At the end of one of your movement phases, this unit can emerge from the webway, set the unit up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. So they changed that. That's good. And the same with Amelin Shadow Guide. Shrift Shroud of Alan Sayre. At the end of one of your movement phase, the model can emerge from hiding, set it up more than 9 inches away. They changed the 3 psychic powers which we mentioned earlier. Can a player cast a psychic power that targets a unit that is only in range if they use the Concordance of Power stratagem to extend the power's range? Yes. Can a Swimping Hawk unit that moves over an enemy unit as a result of Quicken psychic power use its Grenade Pack ability? Yes. And that's it for them. Death Guard. When it loads. Fugaris Helm, increase the range of the bearer's aura abilities. Example, Arch Contaminator, Neville's Gift, etc. by 3 inches. That's good. Demon Prince of No keywords, add Psyker to the keyword line. Kill Spoon, basically change the details for the spawn. Can a Poxwalker use the Curse of the Walking Pox ability or the Dead Walk Again strategy to increase the unit above the starting strength? Yes. I don't like that. However, you must pay for reinforcement points for each Poxwalker model that you add to the unit that would increase it above its starting strength. That's fine then, I suppose. Can a kill shot stratagem be used on a Hellforged Predator? No! Next up we've got Desmond's. Again, details on the range of the spawn, and the same with the psychic powers of Zinch that was mentioned earlier. Epidemius. The tally of pestilence starts the battle at 0, whilst Epidemius is on the battlefield. Add 1 to the tally whenever a unit, friend or foe, is destroyed by a Nurgle demon unit. And look up the result on the chart below. The results are cumulative but are lost if Epidemius is destroyed. Fine. And just clarification on Boon of Data Sheets. Updated War Scrolls, Fiends, Fleshhounds, Blood Crushers, and that's it, because that's all that was changed in the Wrath and Rapture box. Drukhari. Range weapons. Add plasma grenades. 0 points. Mint. Architects of Pain. The stratagem cannot affect the same unit more than once per battle round. Fine. Hyperstim Backlash. This stratagem cannot affect the same unit more than once per battle round. Fine. Agents of Vect. This stratagem cannot be used if your army does not include Cabal of the Blackheart detachment, or if there are no Cabal of the Blackheart units from your army on the battlefield, and cannot be used to affect stratagem used before the battle or during deployment. Can the counter-offensive stratagem be used to negate a unit fighting last because of the Vexator Mask artifact? Oh, I don't like that. Yes, the counter-offensive stratagem allows a unit to fight outside the normal fight order, i.e. the stratagem does not give a unit the ability to fight first in the fight phase. It simply instructs you to pick a unit and fight with it next. Ah, that's horrible. Let's have a look. If the Agents of X stratagem is used to stop a stratagem from... right, so if you use Agents of Vect and stop a once per game stratagem, it doesn't count as them having used it. That's okay, I suppose. And that's it for Drukhari. I'm not going to cover Orcs because I genuinely have never looked at the Orc Codex, so I have got no clue about that at all. So, Genestealer Cult is going to be the last one for tonight, guys. Like I said, though, make sure you are following us on Twitch. I'll probably back up around 8:30, actually, by the time I get showered and have a bite to eat and stuff as well. Let's have a quick look. So, Cult Ambush, revealing markers. Change the last sentence of the first paragraph to read. Note that unless these units actually move during the moving phase, they're not considered to have moved. Fine. A massive change to Brew Brothers here, and I don't know whether Chaos Swarm can help me out with this. Orcs has big one change, can only mob up boys now. Yeah, I seen that one earlier. I covered that one in the thing. Go away. It's affected every army that do similar stuff. Yeah, Orc Nerf is the mob up stratagem only works on Orc boys. Oh, right, so it's only the troop unit now as opposed to like mobbing up like loads of looters or whatever it was, or what were the tank busters people used to do it, didn't they? And then use the thing to fire again or something. You could do strike some in on back end, mob up, then move in. Yeah. So anyway, this one, add the following paragraphs to the end of the Brood Brothers rules. Order Brood Brother units that have the voice of command or tank orders ability cannot issue order to any unit that has the Genestealer Cult faction keyword, nor can they issue orders to units that they would not have been able to issue orders to before they gained the Brood Brother keyword. E.g., Brood Brother Company Commander cannot issue to a Brood Brother Ogren unit to do a Brood Brother Tempestus Silent unit. I don't get that. Before you could give Genestealer Cult units orders from Imperial Guard, but now you can't. So if you take a Brood Brother unit and you've got a Brood Brother Commissar, can the Brood Brother Commissar still order the Brood Brother unit? And if you've got I don't know, let's say you've got a Spearhead or Brood Brother Lehman Russ. Can the tank commander issue generic tank orders, not the specific regiment ones, to the Lehman Russ? Not if that unit is taken from the Gene Steel Corps. So how do you take it? How would you ever be in a position to issue orders? They clarified they came from below as well, so if you set them back up underground, they can't arrive during the first battle round, because I know that was a bit of a loophole. Lurk in the shadows until the end of the phase. Enemy models can only shoot that unit if they are the closest visible unit. Lying in wait, use a stratagem when you set up a unit from your army as reinforcements as an ambush special rule. Change the models per unit for the Ridge Runner to read 1 to 3. Astra Militam. Right, so if you take an allied detachment of Brood Brothers or Guard and change it to Brood Brothers, you can still issue orders as normal but not use the regimental ones. Mental Onslaught, you can stop it on a 6. They can't use regimental orders, but can use other orders. Note the errata above that further clarify which of these units can. Right, fair enough, fair enough. Amulet of the Voidworm. In addition, enemy units cannot fire Overwatch at the bearer's unit. But the characters, so they don't have a unit. So how does that make sense? Okay, okay. If a Psyker contains models with a wounds characteristic of 1, suffers a wound from the Sanctus Silencer sniper rifle, how is the resulting perils of the warp resolved? If the unit loses any wounds as a result of an attack made by this weapon in the case of the Psyker unit, this essentially means if any models were destroyed as the result of an attack made with this weapon, then the unit suffers perils of the warp. Note that the unit only suffers perils of the warp after the attack has been resolved. Therefore, if the last model in that unit was destroyed by the attack, there is no unit left on the battlefield. Right. Right, I get Chaos Swarm. Cheers, man. As this model is now treated as being part of your army... Oh, wait, hang on. If I target an enemy model within an inch of another enemy unit with mind control sight power, can I choose to shoot with that model if the power is successfully manifested at Beatty's leisure? As this model is now treated as part of your army, it would allow all the normal rules for units making shooting attacks whilst within an inch of an enemy unit. So the answer to this question is no, unless you're shooting with a pistol weapon. Note that the model could still make a single close combat attack instead though. Fair enough. And that is pretty much it for the FAQ. Lots and lots of clarification. I love what they did with Fly. I love what they did with all of the pre-game farming and stuff like that. Fantastic changes. I like them all a lot. Things I don't like, the crossover from Eldari and Drukhari and stuff, I don't like it that much, but I understand why they did it, and I don't feel as butthurt about it as what they did to the Fly keyword last time. So overall, I'm quite happy with the changes. Like, there's nothing there that makes me go, ah! Apart from the fact that I now don't have a tournament army. But there we go. They make the Brood Brother nerf because of Scion Commander Deep Strike with 2 20-man Brood Brother units and did first rank fire, second rank fire for 160 lasgun shots. That's because the Guard squads can only go up to 10, isn't it? Yet the Brood Brother squads can go up to 20, I think. But yeah, that is... You missed one on the Drukhari, Harry, the last one. The last one? Give me a second. If an Agents of X stratagem is used to stop a stratagem from resolving, and that stratagem affects the target of an attack, such as Oathbreaker Guidance System, Is the attack lost? No, the normal targeting rules apply and the attack is resolved as normal. I don't understand that, Daz. If it is used to stop a stratagem from resolving and that stratagem affects the target of an attack, is the attack lost? No, normal targeting rules apply. So is that basically saying that you can shoot something else that you would normally be able to shoot at? I'm not sure. Anyway, guys, that has been over an hour and a half of me just going info. There's a lot of stuff on it. I do like a lot of the changes. Might catch you later on, Hazard, if you're still on when I get out of my nerd cave. Have fun. Yeah, I'm going to head off, Rick. I will be back probably about 9 o'clock, guys. 8:30, 9 o'clock, which is 75 to 90 minutes ish. I will be back. I will be hobby streaming on Twitch. I've got no idea what to paint now, because I was going to paint 9 Deathwatch veterans, but, well, now I can't use them at the tournament if Justin goes for that. And, of course, the stratagem to use the Assassin is now 2 CP. And if like, this is my plans, in fact, where am I? So if this was my plans for the army for the tournament, it's like, it's all neat and cozy, and there's no creases in it. And it's like, yeah, this is going to be cool. And then the FAQ just went, nothing to see. Absolutely nothing to see here. So on that note, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I am going to head off, come back in about 90 minutes, and I will be hobby streaming on Twitch. And we will be giving away Canoness Viridian to one lucky viewer. And the link is twitch.tv/the Dark Artisan TV. Go and check us out, guys. Make sure you follow us on Twitch and make sure you are subscribed to YouTube. Thank you very much to Thomas for the donation. Thank you to all the patrons who have supported the channel. And of course to Battle Bunker and Demon Skips for sponsoring the channel. Thank you very much, guys. And we'll see you again soon.